Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another of our summer break shows where we talk about things that could be important to Sheffield United fans over the summer break between the Championship and when we start that beautiful Premier League season. Now, today's video is about one of our star men, an absolute key man in our promotion, and somebody who I think I speak for all of us when I say somebody that we love and want to be with Sheffield United for as long as possible. I'm, of course, talking about our number 29, Iliman Ndiaye. And what we're going to look at today is he going to stay with Sheffield United for at least one more season? Or do we think we may cash in and he may leave the club this summer? Now, with me, as I am, I always start negative. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the negatives. What is the case for Iliman Ndiaye to leave Sheffield United this summer? So the first point that may see Iliman Ndiaye leave is that he's Iliman Ndiaye and he is bloody good. He has proven himself in the Championship over the last 2 seasons to be possibly the best attacker who has played at that level. He has been a standout player doing the double-double for goals and assists. That's 14 goals, 10 assists this season. He has been the talisman for a team that have got automatic promotion, and he has the X factor, skills that you just do not find in that many football players, particularly at the level that Sheffield United have been at in the Championship. His touch control is arguably as good as any player I've ever seen. The speed of his feet, how he can take control of the ball and beat a man so quickly by just bamboozling them with footwork, that is a standout attribute that when you can beat players, you immediately start to look up to the top of the game. And so he's going to have a lot of interest just because of his pure talent. But it's not just a talent in the Championship. He has also now got international recognition. He started playing for Senegal. He had a good showing at the World Cup, particularly in their final group game against Qatar. He got a lovely assist to their, I think it was 4th goal. And overall, he did still manage to put himself forward as a key player during his time at the World Cup. And beyond the World Cup, he has now scored his first goals for Senegal. So his ability, his talent, and his record is going to be catching very, very interested eyes from some of the big teams in Europe, not just teams in the Premier League, but he has also spoken about wanting to go home, go back to Marseille, the team that he grew up supporting. And I wouldn't be shocked if they are a team that are potentially interested, though I know they have potential financial concerns. So that's the first reason that Iliman Ndiaye could be on his way. But it's not the only one. So the other one that we have to talk about now is the contract situation. Iliman Ndiaye only has 12 months left on his contract with Sheffield United. Now, for Sheffield United Football Club, we do not have that much money. It's been widely reported last season that we had a transfer embargo for at least 6 months. We're now coming into a season in the Premier League where it's still being rumoured that we are not financially that well off. We maybe have a £20 million transfer budget. That's not really a lot of money for the Premier League. And so selling Iliman Ndiaye when he's only got 12 months left on his contract could be something the club look to do to boost that transfer budget, but also to make some money off one of our biggest assets. Because what we can't afford to do as a club in our position is allow a player who is worth 20, 30, 40 million pounds to leave on a free transfer, because if that happens, it's just another drain on our resources, and it means that we've got even less money to spend to rebuild this squad as and when we need to do it. So the second reason that we could see him leave is his current contract situation and the financial situation at Sheffield United. That means we have to cash in while his stock is high and while we can get a good transfer fee for him. The final reason that I think we could see Iliman Ndiaye leave Sheffield United is his development. You know, he may well now feel that he's done everything he can for Sheffield United, that he's shown himself to be a level above, quite frankly, where we have been playing, a level above a lot of the other players in our team. And quite frankly, he probably feels as though he's earned a right to look up now and start to think, where should he go next for his development? Will it suit him to be a player who sits in at the bottom of the Premier League in a relegation battle? And while, yes, That, for me, would be a good experience, and I think he gives us so much of a better chance of being successful in that battle. He himself may want to think about, does that give him the appropriate opportunity to show his skill? Is he better off being served by a team who are going to potentially be possession dominant? Is he going to be better served in a team that give him time on the ball and really allow his attacking talent to flourish? So he's got to think about what's best for his own personal development, what is going to take him to where he wants to go, because he's spoken quite a lot now about how much he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, how he wants to be at the very top of the game of football. And so he might start to think about his development and how he needs to be making those steps forward and making them sooner rather than later. And that's the third reason that I think we could see Iliman Ndiaye want to make a move away from Sheffield United. But now we come on to what is the case for Iliman Ndiaye to stay. And this is what it's all about, because this is what we want him to hear. We want him to know that he has to stay with Sheffield United because we need him and we love him. And that's case number one, is how much of a connection he has with the fans. When you are beloved by a group of fans, when you have that atmosphere, we've seen how much he enjoyed it. That final home game of the season against Preston, he was dancing, he was celebrating, he was being serenaded by the entire Bramall Lane crowd. And when you have a connection like that as a player, it must feel unbelievably special. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know, because clearly I don't. But it's my absolute dream to have one moment like what he had against Preston. And he will have those moments all year round, every time he comes on the pitch at Bramall Lane, because he knows we love him and we will forever be reminding him of that fact. And so I think that's a huge reason for him to want to stay with us. I think he will want to repay the loyalty that has come from the fans. We gave him his big break in professional football. He had his first opportunities with Sheffield United, and he has been constantly embraced by the Sheffield United fans. So maybe he'll be wanting to pay us back. Maybe he'll think that it is only right that, having worked with us so hard to get promotion, he's there to capitalise on the good work. He's there to capitalise on the good times with the fans, and he'll stay to preserve that relationship for one more year and really do everything he can to leave us in the best place possible. And that is secure with our Premier League status for another season. And so that's the first reason that I think Iliman Ndiaye will stay with Sheffield United, and that's loyalty and his connection with the fans. The second reason that I think he should stay is that he's Iliman Ndiaye. I said it when we were talking about a reason for him to leave, but it's also a reason for him to stay, because he is Iliman Ndiaye and he is our best player. He is a standout, and if we are going to stay in the Premier League, we will need his creativity, his skill, his goals, his ability to take the pressure off our defence. What we've seen this season so many times is that if we are a little bit under the cosh, or if we are sitting a little bit too deep, getting him on the ball gives us an opportunity to get up the field. He can beat a man. He can run towards goal. We've seen in some really special moments that if he picks the ball up in our half and there's one, maybe two defenders that aren't crowding him, he can beat those players and score a goal. And so he gives us something that we just do not have without him. And that, quite frankly, even if we do get the 20-30 million pound that is being referenced, we can't find that skill for that same amount of money. And so one of the reasons that he will have to stay is that we need him. And as a club, we might not want to let that go. I've talked about the financial situation, but that financial situation is helped a million times more by us staying in the Premier League. And our best chance of staying in the Premier League is with Iliman Ndiaye leading the line, being that same player he's been for the last 18 months, and really being a man who drives us forward and does everything he can to keep us up. We've seen the impact that players like these can have. If you look at Nottingham Forest, Brennan Johnson, who's come through for them, don't particularly like the guy, but he's shown what an impact just having a flair player who can create chances and score goals can have in keeping you in the Premier League. And Iliman Ndiaye can do that role for us, and he can be the difference between 19th and 16th. And that is worth every penny. It's worth a lot more than 20 or 30 million pound that we might sell him for. And so the second reason Iliman Ndiaye might stay is that as a club, we need him to. As a squad, we need his goals. And we might say to him, okay, go on a free next summer, but stay with us for now. Give us everything you've got, and let's stay in the Premier League. And the final reason is an interesting one, because it's still, again, I feel as though there's a couple of these points that work both ways. And this third one is another one of these, and it's about Iliman Ndiaye's personal development. I talked about how maybe he will want to go to a team that's more possession dominant. He might want to go to a team who allow him to show his attacking talents. But what he might need is just any season in the Premier League. And a season with Sheffield United takes some of the pressure off. He doesn't have to score 15 goals or 20 goal contributions for it to be seen as a success. He's allowed to develop at his own pace. He will have a lot of expectation on him, but he will have that expectation in a supportive environment with a club that know what his skills are. There's no external pressure that's saying you've got to be a success, you've got to score his goals to get to Europe. All he's got is the love of a fan base and the belief that we genuinely think he could be the difference maker. Now, for your personal development in your first season in the Premier League, you probably want to be able to have that opportunity to develop at your own pace, maybe a little bit outside of that public eye that's going to be following you everywhere. And so it might be better for Iliman Ndiaye to do what the players I just referenced at Notts Forest have done, what your Morgan Gibbs-White or Brennan Johnson did, because staying with Sheffield United and proving your worth in a relegation battle can just be huge for the way that you develop as a player. You can get physically stronger, you can get mentally stronger because you're used to playing on the back foot, and it gives you a different skill set. If you're playing constantly on the break, you find new ways to beat your man. You find new ways to stretch the game. And it's just another string to your bow that you can always use. Because unless you're playing for Man City, at some point, you're going to have those counter-attacking talents. And counter-attacking talents is exactly what we're going to be looking to develop, what we're going to be looking to use, and how we're going to look to stay up. So those, for me, are the three main reasons that Iliman Ndiaye will want to stay at Sheffield United. And from me, what I think, for what it's worth, I think he will stay. I think Iliman Ndiaye will still be a Sheffield United player on the 1st of September, and I think he will be a difference maker. I think he's going to have a really good season wearing red and white because, quite frankly, I think it suits all parties best. You know, I think we want to give this our best shot, and he, in our squad, gives us that chance. And I think for him, he'll want to just have that extra year of development. He'll want to honour that connection with the fans, and he'll want to stay loyal to a club who have really given him his big opportunity. So you heard it here first. Iliman Ndiaye will stay at Sheffield United this summer, I think.